What's up, guys? This is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind, and I'm back again. Thank you guys for joining me once again. I am so tickled. Listen, guys, you might have noticed if you go on the Star Wars YouTube page, all their videos are getting downvoted to fucking hell. You know what I mean? It's a joy to watch. You might wonder though, why is this happening? Disney, I know LuKKasfilm, you must be seeing this, and you might be wondering if you're tone deaf, why is this happening? Why could this be happening? Why now? But or listen, unless you've been blind, then you know that things were actually moving in a positive direction after the season finale of The Mandalorian. I mean, this is not hard to track, guys. A bunch of goodwill had been established, okay? So, Lucasfilm, you watch these videos. You know you do. Don't front. Don't act like you don't. I don't care how big the channel is. I don't care how small the channel is. You have your little peepers all over our asses, right? So, try to learn something, okay? Pay attention, sit up straight. Um, After that season finale of The Mandalorian, all types of goodwill had been established. You know what I mean? It looked like there was potential. Nobody was saying that all was forgiven. There are some people who said Star Wars was saved. I never bought into that bullshit. I was really just more in that moment, being able to see Luke Skywalker again in his, at the height of his power. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing, especially having been denied that for some reason, in the so-called sequel trilogy, which I call the Nyquil trilogy. I don't know how that meeting even happened. I would have loved to have been some type of fly on the wall for that one, where somebody said, okay, we got Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher, Anthony Daniels, we got everybody here, Peter Mayhew, all these people we got, back. But let's not put them together, all right? Let's deny the audience that, who have been waiting for something like 50 fucking years. Let's just deny them that. Who comes up with that type of decision? But they did, right? Because they didn't want to overshadow their new characters, even though even the most challenged of imaginations can tell you that people respond to a passing of the baton, a respectful passing of the baton. It's like you do not disrespect your legacy characters to puff up your new characters. Any idiot knows that's going to make people resent your new characters, especially if you're not going to write them worth a damn, which is what happened. Ray, wait, by the way, why did Ray have a British accent? What was that about? John Boyega has a British accent, but he was able to subdue that in the movies. Why did they allow Daisy Ridley to talk that way? Because I think that actually was part of what kind of turned audiences off a little bit. I can't say for sure, right? But along with the terrible writing, if the writing had been up to snuff, maybe it wouldn't have mattered. But I think it still served to make her just a little bit more aloof, perhaps, from what they were going for. But I digress. Look, the point is that they did a terrible, terrible job. And then they went on a campaign where they started trashing out and disrespecting the fans because we talked about our hangups and our concerns with the movie and the things that we weren't liking about the latest series, So they went on social media, started calling us all types of names, hired their little fuckboys to come out and start insulting people. Freddie Pinch Jr., Pablo Hidalgo, Ryan Johnson. It's like, what the fuck? This is not how you sell a product, by insulting people. But that's what they did. So they created this history of doing that. So by the time The Mandalorian came along and they did what they did in that season finale, everybody was like, oh my God, it looks like maybe somewhere they might be getting it. Maybe Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, perhaps, Somebody has got to hear us. Someone's got to feel our pain. And when we saw that, we had reason to think that maybe, just maybe, cautiously, we could be optimistic. So there was that goodwill that had been established. But it seems like almost directly after that, we started getting attacked even more so. You had that idiot Pablo Hidalgo come out and say, oh, look at you. Emotions are not to be shared. Look at you, mess of a human being. Don't tell me you don't sit around crying about some dumb shit in your life. You know what I mean? So don't even start that. You know what I mean? You look like a pathetic man baby, to coin somebody else's phrase. All right. So he did that. And then you had what's his name, Christina Ariel come out, and start, for some reason, going on some tirade against white people while she was straight getting boned by a white man. That fucking didn't make any sense. But for some reason, Lucasfilm, Disney, they allowed that to happen, and offered no apology for it. So she was allowed to be racist all over the place. She was allowed to condemn and demonize white people, as someone who has interracial children, and raising, a white boy and everything. She was allowed to do that. I mean, to me, that just seemed a little bit extra. You know what I mean? Like, you actually saw that happen and offered no apology for it. That was weird, And then, what came after that? You had Pablo Hidalgo, you had Christina Ariel, and then the firing of Gina Carano. You let her be harassed for like over a year, and it was baseless. It's like you had Christina Ariel in bold print being, the way she was being hateful, but you can't show anybody anything that Gina Carano did that would justify the harassment that she had to endure. You just let her go, let her be, abused and slandered and maligned, and then you fire her, and for a lot of us, that was the last straw. It's when you did that, we were trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, the goodwill had been established and everything. But once you did that, and then you tried to virtue signal about Black History Month and Martin Luther King's birthday, and you put John Boyega's face on there, even though that man told you that he didn't like the direction that you took his character in. He pointed it out, how you took his character and didn't flesh it out. And it was because he was a black character. But that's the way you guys want to virtue signal, identity politics. We have black people here. We have black people. Applaud us, applaud us. But the black man told you that he was insulted by the way you didn't develop his character. You just used him. And then you turn around and learned nothing and used him again to virtue signal on Black History Month. That's what's the problem. So people are seeing this. First it was, the voices that came out after The Last Jedi, the Phantom Menace, the objective voices who came out and pointed things out, because we realized we can't trust the critics anymore, because when the critics first saw, they were the first people to voice their opinions on The Last Jedi, and everybody said it was an instant classic, right? So that's the way you stole everybody's money. We all knew that Mark Hamill was coming back and everything, and the critics came out and said, oh, Rian Johnson did a fantastic job. This is the best movie ever. Not one person pointed out the plot holes. Not one person pointed out that they had a problem with the way Luke Skywalker was portrayed on screen. We had bamboozled, led astray. And then you turn around and want to insult people. All right? So yeah. Now, the momentum is growing. All right? You can paint it however you want to paint it. You can put whatever spin you want to put on it. But when you look in that Star Wars YouTube page and you see the downvotes, you see the ratioing going on, the truth is there for all to see. When you turn off the comments on the Oscar page for Kathleen Kennedy, we know that you're seeing us. We know that you see what's going on here. So when you sit back and when you try to think about damage control, when you think about how you want to start selling merch again, and having everything, when The Mandalorian ended, everybody was with it, man. The way The Mandalorian was going, you could have been selling toys, you could have been selling books, comics, but no, because you want to sell this High Republic bullshit. You know what I mean? So that's where you want to focus. You don't want anything taking the focus away from what you want to do to get all of the money. You don't want to pay out your authors. The stories are out there. People are seeing this. You don't want to get into the EU, which are vastly superior stories. You don't want to get into that because you don't want to pay people. You're greedy bastards. Even Disney, even the family of Disney, what was it, his niece or something, his granddaughter, even she said greed will be your undoing. But you're not learning anything from this. It's time to wake the fuck up. That's the reason why you're getting ratioed the way you are. More and more people are seeing this. It's not a mystery. And I'm glad it's happening. Somebody has got to start waking up over there and understanding that you got to actually serve the fans. You have to actually, I'm not saying you have to actually be dictated to by the fans, but you have to at least consider what you're doing as far as the legacy of Star Wars. the fandom that has been there for decades. You just can't keep grabbing people's money and think that you can you just take what we give you. No, you have to consider what we have all been invested in all of these years, you know? And now the truth is banging, banging, banging on your door, So the only question is, are you going to learn from this, or are you just going to drive this shit into the ground? Because a lot of people, good people, have walked away from Star Wars and they're just not coming back. And even those who started coming back with The Mandalorian are just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. You know what I mean? I don't care what you think is coming out, the Bad Batch or whatever. All those things, Cassian Andor, the Obi-Wan show, you're going to mess it all up until you learn how to respect your fans. All right, guys, that's my little statement on the matter for now. You can get in the comment section and tell me how you feel. Even more so, let them know how you feel. Because like I said before, they're in these comment sections. They see what we're doing. I don't care how big or how small. They're out there. They're watching. So sound off. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. As always, you can catch me on Twitter. The link will be in the description below. Thank you guys for rocking with me as always. I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.